Hey kid, heard you looking for the good stuff. Now, has this ever happened to you? You're shopping around for a particular animal, you're looking at the good places, you know, Facebook, Morph Market, things like this, and you tend to find some animals that look pretty much similar, you know, the exact same genetics, anything like that, but some cost a lot more than others. What's going on here? Are these guys price gouging us? Are they taking us as fools? What's going on? I don't know. We're here to answer that question right now. So, question of the day. Why do some breeders charge more than others? Let's get into it. This question comes from my Discord channel, which, by the way, I have a Discord channel. I think we have a few people in there, and I think we're up to like 16, 17 people. Down there in the description, if you have a Discord, come check it out. We talk a lot about reptiles. I share some stuff before I post on my socials as well, so it's kind of a cool thing to get into. Patreon's down there too. Just, you know, I don't know, if you want to see new stuff, Patreon. Anyway, so why do some breeders charge more? Well, to really get into that, I think we need to make a big separation that we're looking at in the market, and that is the hobbyist versus the business. When we're talking about what the difference between a hobbyist and a business is, it's a pretty big one. When you're talking about your average hobbyist, you have someone with maybe just a couple of crested geckos, you know, just wanted to breed for fun, really doesn't have any financial risk in the game, you know, nothing like that. So, I mean, he's got a full-time job, he's paying his bills with that job. This is just a fun little thing. So, I mean, if that being the case, these people can really set the market, you know, wherever they want, because there's no risk or really gain for them. It's more of a hobby, hence hobbyist breeder. And then flipping over, if we're talking about a reptile business, this is someone that has a lot of financial stake in this. This is someone where their career is in this, or doing this as a full-time career. This pays the bills, things like this. At the very least, maybe they're only a part-time business where the money coming in is actually just paying for the reptiles themselves, which in this case, these people have a lot more animals. Now we're getting into the people that own, you know, 50, 60, hundreds, even thousands of animals, and there's financial stake. And when you're talking about this where the money is going back to somewhere, either, you know, feeding the animals, paying the bills, things like this, there has to be a set amount of money you're selling these babies to make it physically a possibility. That was physically, not physically. Physical. Is physically a word? I'm pretty sure. Physically. So while your average hobbyist breeder is just having, you know, like a few crested geckos, something like this, and they're like, oh, I want to breed crested geckos, so I'm just going to pair this one and this one. I'm just going to sell the babies for $20, and I'm going to crash the crested gecko market to where it's really just not a financially option people to anyone. That's the reasoning why they can set the amount really with whatever they want. They can go with by market prices, but they're gonna have to hold on to the babies longer. Maybe this is someone that doesn't really have enough space to be doing this. You know, he really only has enough space for this one clutch, but then next year if she retains sperm, now she has double the clutches. This guy's gonna have double the amount of animals coming the next year, so he needs to get these animals out, or maybe just wants to give people animals out for free. Things like this. You know, there's a bunch of, I can go into like a million different, scenarios, yes! Scenarios on why this person is doing what they're doing, but I don't know the motives about hobbyist breeder. I'm not really a hobbyist breeder, I'm a reptile business, so I can really relate more to that side than the hobbyist side. But yeah, hobbyist breeders, they set the money wherever because there's like no financial risk because the money isn't going back into the project necessarily, or it doesn't need to. Great video. So to answer the question, that's pretty much it. It's not like, I know I see people that are like, oh, people are just overcharging. They just want to make more money. They only care about the money. You will sell your gecko for $20 if you care about the animal. Oh my God, these businesses are outrageous. Facebook groups. That's not the case. Or, well, most of the time. I guess it could happen sometimes. I mean, maybe people are just being a little shit and, you know, upcharging. For the most part, that is really the reasoning behind this, is businesses need to make a certain amount of money to make this a viable option for them to continue. Of course there's passion too, of course there are people that are wanting to do this, but when you're thinking about a reptile business, this isn't something where it's just like, oh, you know, just sell it for whatever and the money comes back somewhere. The money has to make sense. You need to go after what your bottom quota is, how much you're making, how much you're going to profit, or if you're going to profit from this. If you're selling crested geckos for $20 and yet it's costing costing you $60 a month to have these animals, then you're just gonna dig yourself more and more into debt. It's not a financial business option. I know people don't like hearing about this. I want to talk more about this. I'm definitely gonna make more videos about this because there's not enough people that are talking about the business side of the reptile industry. Everyone wants to just talk about the animals. Oh, because it has to do with animals, so if you talk about business, then you don't care about the animals. That's not the case, but we need to talk. In order for this to be a functional business, for us to go forward into the reptile hobby, we need people that have not only good intentions and a passion for these reptiles, but also some good marketing and business sense at the same time. So yeah, I think that answers that question. Good follow-up question is probably gonna be, well, Dakota, why would I buy from the business then? If they're the same gecko, the same ball python, why wouldn't I just support the small hobby guy instead of the reptile business? I don't see the difference. They're both the same animal. They're not. There's a big difference. Let's get into it. And I can answer that question in just 2 words. Knowledge and experience. That's 3 words. Damn it. And when we're talking what really sets a hobbyist breeder from a reptile business is really the knowledge and experience that comes with that business. If you're talking to a guy that really only owns 4 or 5 crested geckos and he hasn't been doing this very long, you just wanted to do it as a little side project, this guy is not going to be as much knowledgeable and as experienced as, let's say, Tiki's gecko. Someone that's been doing this for years and years, has a bunch of any of these animals. I don't really know how many crested geckos they have, but really when you're talking about someone like Tiki's geckos, they're going to have a lot more knowledge, a lot more experience that's going to help you along the way versus the standard hobbyist breeder. During the time you have this crested gecko, if you have any questions on care, any concerns, anything like this, you're going to be able to go to that reptile business, let's use the example Tiki's geckos, and be able to ask them, hey, I have this question, I'm a little concerned about this, and they're able to give you that full customer service where, tell you exactly what's wrong, because 9 times out of 10, they're going to know what it is since they've been doing it for so long. Oh, I'm going to get this one in the comment section. Dakota, why don't I just buy the $30 one instead of the $120 baby, and then I just go to the reptile business and ask them all the questions that I have? Yep, I know a lot of people, I know you guys do that. I'm getting the inboxes of those $30 geckos when I've got plenty of... Now, if I'm being completely honest, I find that a little distasteful. I know I'm gonna get shit on it in the comment section, but I find it rude if people are going out, seeking out of their way on buying another animal and then going to that experienced breeder without purchasing an animal from them and wanting to get all that information from that guy instead of the breeder that they bought it from. I've seen the other videos, people are like, oh, you should just give all the information for free, just, because it's gonna do right for that animal. Yeah, I mean, come on, really? Listen, if someone doesn't find value in the animals that I'm breeding, the animals I'm producing, the time and skill it takes me to successfully reproduce these animals, and instead find it better to just go with the cheaper option and then coming to me with all the questions and concerns that they have for the animal, I find it a little rude. I find it a very one-sided argument where if you don't find value in the stuff that I'm producing, the stuff I'm creating, but instead just want the information itself. And here's the thing, the information's out there. You can really find it anywhere. Do a Google search, go to a vet then, if that's, what your preference is. But again, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna get shit on in the comments section, but I find it distasteful, I do. And yeah, it's not that I mean, obviously, if you guys have questions, I'll answer them, but I mean, I've had so many people just like, I have animals for sale and they ask me questions about those animals, and then a week later are like, oh hey, I bought from someone else, but I still don't know about this and this, could you help me out? And it's like, hey there, editing Dakota here. Now, while editing this video, I realized I didn't really make it very clear what I'm talking about. I don't want people to think that I don't like answering questions, because that's not the case. I do enjoy getting people's questions. I enjoy being able to help people out. What's really frustrating, and the point that I was trying to get across, is the fact when people purchase a gecko from someone else and then come to me for all the questions they have. I find it a bit odd for the fact that people, if you bought an animal from someone else, why are you coming to me for the questions instead of the breeder that you purchased the animal for? And number 2, it's frustrating not knowing anything about the animal. Every animal here at DBCB Exotics, I know exactly how they were met, whether their husbandry needs were met, how they were fed, what they were fed, when their sheds were, when the last time they ate, etc., etc. When you come to me with an animal that you bought from a breeder I don't know in a place that I don't know, it's a lot more difficult and answer your question, because I don't know, like, if it's not eating, I don't know what it was fed before, I don't know how long it's been without food, etc., etc., the husbandry it was cared for, things like this. This is the point I wanted to drive across. I didn't do that in the video. Yes, that's it. So I hope that clears things up. I'm happy to answer your guys' questions. I have no problem answering questions, but the frustrating part is with that, what I just said. Moving on. Take it away, nicer looking camera, Dakota, because my cell phone's crap. So that was a rant. Anyway, that's just it. Experience, knowledge. That's what you're gonna get with the reptile business versus the hobbyist breeder. Of course, years of knowledge and experience does come handy if you're starting out with a new species. For instance, I'm starting out with an Argus monitor. Of course, Joe Castellan, I'll shout that guy out. He's been a great guy, great customer service for me. This is a dude where I could have gone to Morph Market and bought an Argus monitor for $200, $250, but instead I went with pretty much double the price for Joe Castellan's animals, just because I find the value in what he's producing. I find value in his knowledge and his skills when producing these animals, and I wanted to support him as a breeder. I think that's a big thing that a lot of people don't take into consideration. I hate the squeaky chair. I hate the squeaky chair so much. The fact that people really don't think about the breeder. A lot of the times we're just thinking about the animal. What's the best deal I can get the animal? I want the prettiest animal, but your money is going to somewhere, and if you want to support this person, this is really a great way to do it, is buying their animals. I don't know. I find it a bit odd that I feel like in this day and age, I feel really that the reptile breeder of today's 2020 is being treated almost like the standard retail worker. We're taken for granted. There's so much entitlement and expectations that we have for this breeder. You should give me all the information all this time. We need to have 100% customer service, or we're not doing right for the animal. We're not a good business, and you should not report this or support this person. But at the same time, I mean, we're people, guys. I get about 20 to 30 messages a day while I'm taking care of these 80 plus animals, while I'm working on making videos, while I'm editing. I'm doing all these things at the same time. So it's difficult to get my undivided attention on every question that you might have. Am I gonna be a little biased and talk more to those people and give more information to the people that bought my animals, so I make sure that the animal that I sent out is having the best possible life than someone that just bought a $20 gecko off the street? Off the street, yeah, they just went to the corner and they're like, the guy with the trench coat is like, hang on. Wait. Psst. Hey kid, heard you looking for the good stuff. That's so dumb. I forgot to put Pebbles in the video, so she's here now, and you gotta see that. Funny. That took me about 5 minutes. I had to go find the coat, I had to go all the way into the reptile room to get it. Worth it. 100% worth it. Yeah, I'll be honest, I lost my train of thought. Something about reptiles off the street. Oh yeah, and then they asked a bunch of questions. I'm gonna put my attention towards the people that bought animals from me that... Yeah, now that I did this skit, this just seems like a really bad rant. I guess we'll wrap it up, I don't know. Okay, final breakdown. If you're taking businesses such as New England Reptile, where you have someone that has thousands and thousands of animals. This is, I think they have that. Yeah, they have a bunch of, they have a lot of animals. Now, this is someone that is financially their business model. Isn't the fact that you're just getting one crested gecko, you're getting an animal from this business. This business has a, 6 to 12 to 8, I don't know. There's a lot of money in the feeding bills, monthly rodent orders, monthly insect orders, electric costs, things like this. So when you have these bills that are getting to, I imagine, what would be the tens of thousands of dollars a year versus the hobbyist breeder that's just has these 2 crested geckos in a tub and spends 20 bucks on food a year, and that's pretty much the only thing that his expense is, you're gonna see a big difference in price just because in order to keep this business running, these prices need to be set at a fixed amount. Pretty much fixed costs to variable costs. As your business gets bigger, your expenses get bigger, whereas the hobbyist breeder is going to be more of a fixed cost just because he's not really looking to expand, just sell the babies that he produces from this one clutch. So variable costing, over time, you get expansions, building costs, rent, electricity, feeding bills, a lot more higher, whereas hobbyists, they're set at a standard amount of whatever they choose because there's no, again, financial risk or anything like that. That pretty much answers that question. Really, I guess this 37-second clip really answers the biggest part of the question, but hey, gotta get those mid-rolls. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today. I think that is it. Anyway, sorry, I forgot about Pebbles. I know, I'm so sorry, Pebbles. You weren't in today's video. She'll be in the next one that I sit down and rant about stuff. If you liked the video, please feel free to give us a thumbs up. If you want to see some more of my animals or my breeding products, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, DBCB Exotics. We're also on TikTok. Still haven't posted on TikTok. I don't know why. Merch. I got merch right here, teespring.com/DBCB Exotics. It's in the description below, where we also have Discord and Patreon. Patreon.com/DBCB Exotics, where you get to see some cool stuff like animals I get before anyone else can see them, some rad pictures I take before I post them on any of my socials, first dibs on my animals before anyone, and also the chance to get discounts on merch items and the reptiles I produce. It's a bunch of different tiers for a bunch of different people. It starts as low as $1 a month. I kept saying a day, but now it's a month. It's not $1 a day. I don't know why that keeps. Anyway, that's about it. Check it out. Description below. Good stuff down there. You wanna take it away, Pebbles? You wanna the closing line? Nope. The closing line. I hope you guys have a great day.